Magnet. This is a term that nurses can hear in their organization, from colleagues, or in a formal educational program. But what does this mean? What is all the fuss about? And why should I care? With all of the conflicting priorities and surmounting tasks, thinking about another program is just too overwhelming. It sounds like additional work and much more responsibility, when as a clinical nurse, I just want to take care of my patients. But there are benefits to working in an ANCC magnet designated facility. These include improved work environments, increased retention of nurses, exceptional nursing sensitive patient outcomes, and the ability to participate in decision making structures. The Magnet program began in 1983 when the nursing profession was provided with an eye-opening study on how organizations can recruit and retain nurses within the healthcare system. This research was commissioned through the American Academy of Nursing to understand the qualities that organizations possess to successfully attract and retain professional nurses. Through the research process, 41 hospitals were identified as those that have best practices surrounding nursing practice. Through examining these 41 hospitals, the researchers identified 14 common themes, which developed into the original 14 forces of magnetism. In 2008, the ANCC significantly redesigned the Magnet program, streamlining the elements to reduce redundancies. This brought about the new ANCC Magnet model, which simplified the 14 forces into 5 different components. The components are transformational leadership, structural empowerment, exemplary professional practice, new knowledge, innovation, and improvements, and finally, empirical outcomes. The way the program works is that organizations who are seeking to be designated as a magnet facility examine the most current ANCC Magnet Recognition Program manual. This manual provides information to organizations on the designation process and the sources of evidence. There are sources of evidence for transformational leadership, structural empowerment, exemplary professional practice, and new knowledge, innovation, and improvements. The 5th component of empirical outcomes is woven throughout the other 4 components, which indicates that an organization must have empirical data to demonstrate how they have met sources of evidence in the other 4 components. This need to have data as an outcome was a big change for the ANCC program in 2008 and has been one of the most challenging requirements for organizations to meet. To better understand the ANCC's model, let's examine the different components. First, transformational leadership. This component of the Magnet model focuses on strategic planning, the advocacy and influence of nurses within the organization, and the visibility, accessibility, and communication of the nursing leadership. It is important that nursing departments continually assess their strategic direction and assure that it is well aligned with the organization as a whole. In addition, magnet hospitals clearly demonstrate that they are able to effectively influence and advocate for nursing practice, necessary resources, and patient care congruent with the organization. Finally, magnet hospitals use input from clinical nurses to improve patient care and the nurse's work environment. An essential structure for transformational leadership that all magnet organizations must have is a shared decision-making structure. These structures allow clinical nurses to have direct input into the decisions being made for an organization. These structures are also known as shared governance and collaborative governance. The next component, structural empowerment. This component of the magnet model discusses the overall structural environments in magnet organizations. These structures are typically flat, flexible, and decentralized, and they allow for clinical nurses to be involved in organizational decision-making groups. Clinical nurses are encouraged in magnet organizations to participate in professional organizations and incorporate best practices into patient care. It is important for magnet organizations to encourage nurses to pursue and enter formal nursing programs, obtain professional certification, and participate in continuing educational programs internal to the organization. Magnet organizations that demonstrate excellence in this component have strong affiliations with schools of nursing and community outreach programs. In addition, magnet organizations recognize the healthcare needs of the community at large and address these needs through well-developed partnerships. Finally, the nursing community and the community at large recognize the value of nursing in magnet organizations through scholarships and recognition programs. Exemplary professional practice is the third component in the magnet model. This component is the largest in the number of requirements a magnet organization must demonstrate. The overarching conceptual frameworks for this component are the professional practice model and care delivery system. These provide a basis for which nursing care and the interdisciplinary care delivery system is delivered. This concept also focuses on the quality of patient care being delivered, and this is where nursing-sensitive outcome indicators are explored. The fourth component of the magnet model is new knowledge, innovation, and improvements. The Commission on Magnet has an expectation of magnet organizations that they excel in this component. This component is actually scored higher if an organization is seeking redesignation. This component identifies how nurses are involved in the protection of human subjects during research, and that nurses must vote on all nursing-related protocols. In addition, the ability for magnet organizations to incorporate evidence-based practice and best practices into a clinical environment is very important. Finally, the ability for nurses to use innovation and technology to improve nursing work environments or care is extremely important. To recap, the ANCC Magnet Recognition Program is comprised of 4 primary components, with the 5th being woven throughout the program. Through demonstrating how an organization can meet these outcomes, they can achieve magnet designation. However, this is not possible without the clinical nurses being dedicated to advancing their own practice. Nurses can become certified, be active in their professional organization, participate in the generation and translation of new knowledge, and improving nursing-sensitive outcomes as a way to contribute to their organization's magnet designation.